The world you know is only half the truth. Beyond the light of cities and power lies a darker realm, a world built on secrets, hidden behind coded words and silent glances. In this world, every whisper carries the weight of nations. Every decision can spark a war or prevent one. Where are you watching from? Tell us in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to Spyward Story. For centuries, humans have waged wars not just on battlefields, but in the shadows. The first spies were not soldiers, they were thinkers, observers, survivors, men who listened more than they spoke and saw more than they were meant to see. They learned that knowledge is power and secrets are currency. Kings traded spies like gold. Empires rose by the information their agents brought home. From the palaces of ancient China to the deserts of Arabia, spies shaped destinies. They walked unseen among enemies, carrying messages hidden in ink, metal, or skin. They whispered truths that could destroy armies, and sometimes one piece of information changed the fate of millions. As time passed, espionage became more than survival. It became an art of deception, disguise, and danger. To be a spy meant to live between lies and loyalty. Every friend could be an enemy, every shadow a watcher. The spy's greatest weapon was not a gun, but trust. The ability to make others believe a lie perfectly, and to die before revealing the truth. The invisible war had begun long before the first bullet was ever fired. Empires like Rome, Persia, and Britain thrived on information. They built vast networks of informants, couriers, and double agents. The world became a chessboard, and spies were the players behind the kings. In medieval Europe, coded letters replaced armies. In Japan, ninjas carried secrets written on rice paper. In the Ottoman Empire, whispers decided royal succession. From the smoke of candles to the hum of satellites, espionage evolved. But one thing never changed: the hunger for control. Information was no longer knowledge, it was power. Those who held it could rule the world. As technology grew, so did the art of secrecy. The typewriter, the radio, the microchip, each revolution created a new spy. Wars were fought, borders redrawn, leaders replaced, all in silence. The 20th century became the golden age of spies. From London to Langley, from Tel Aviv to Moscow, shadows moved across maps. They carried false identities, invisible weapons, and deadly secrets. Behind every headline, a silent hand shaped the truth, and behind every handshake, an agency waited. Governments denied their existence, yet relied on them for survival. These men and women were both protectors and predators. Their success meant peace. Their failure could mean global chaos. In this hidden world, betrayal was not a crime, it was a profession. Love, friendship, loyalty, all were tools to be used and sacrificed. A spy could be anyone: your neighbor, your colleague, your closest friend. You'd never know until it was too late. They move through airports, hotels, and cafes, ghosts in plain sight. They speak your language, share your habits, and disappear without a trace. Every mission begins with a lie and ends with silence. Some return home as heroes. Others vanish forever. Their names erased, their deeds forgotten, but their impact eternal. Because espionage is not about fame, it's about consequence. One spy's choice can save a nation or destroy it. A secret revealed can topple governments. A secret kept can prevent a war. And sometimes, both at once. The invisible war has no medals, no parades, no songs. Only shadows, codes, and unmarked graves. The greatest victories are never known to the public. The greatest heroes are never seen. They fight not for glory, but for silence. Silence that protects millions who never know their names. In this world, there are no endings, only disappearances. No clear villains, no perfect heroes, only choices made in darkness. Espionage is not about what you see. It's about what you never will. Every secret has a shadow. Every shadow hides a story, and every story begins with a lie. This is the world behind your world, the network beneath your reality. A world without borders and without mercy. Where silence is survival and truth is the deadliest weapon of all. These are the untold stories of intelligence and deception. The world's hidden war, fought without armies, fought without fame. Welcome to Spyward's story, where every secret has a price, and every truth hides another. When the world entered the age of empires, espionage evolved from whispers to an organized craft. What was once a silent skill of messengers and courtiers became the backbone of global power. By the 19th century, wars were no longer fought by swords alone. Information had become the new weapon, sharper than steel, faster than gunpowder. The race for intelligence had begun. In the corridors of London, Paris, and Berlin, secret offices were built under false names. Men in suits became more dangerous than men in uniforms. Files replaced flags. Codes replaced commands. Before we go deeper into the shadows, tell us, where are you watching from? Type your country in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to Spyward's story. It was during this era that the first intelligence bureaus were born. Britain created its Secret Service Bureau in 1909, what the world now knows as MI6. Germany followed with its Abteilung IIB, a military intelligence unit shrouded in secrecy. Russia built the Okhrana, a fearsome agency that hunted enemies within and outside its empire. These were not random men with missions. They were architects of deception. Their agents infiltrated embassies, intercepted letters, bribed officials, and decoded enemy plans. The age of modern espionage had begun, precise, methodical, invisible. When World War I erupted, the entire world turned into a battlefield of spies. Undercover couriers traveled as businessmen. Messages were hidden inside newspapers, musical notes, and even in love letters. Every telegram carried the risk of exposure. Every handshake could mean betrayal. In 1917, the interception of a single message, the Zimmerman telegram, changed history. It pushed the United States into the war, proving that information alone could ignite nations. After the war, espionage didn't fade. It matured. The battlefield had moved from trenches to telegraphs, from rifles to radios. Nations realized that controlling information meant controlling destiny. By the time World War II arrived, espionage had become a science. Every major power had its own intelligence machine. Britain's MI6 and the newly formed Special Operations Executive so worked behind enemy lines. The Soviet Union created the NKVD, mastering counterintelligence and covert assassinations. And in America, a new organization began to rise, one that would later change the world forever, the OSS, the ancestor of the CIA. In those dark years, spies weren't just gathering secrets, they were rewriting the rules of war. Agents parachuted behind enemy borders. Double agents fed false plans to mislead entire armies, and codebreakers like those at Bletchley Park cracked messages that shortened the war itself. But the end of the Second World War was not the end of espionage. It was only the beginning of a new, colder war, where spies replaced soldiers and information replaced bullets. The Cold War had arrived, and with it came a new breed of agents. Men and women trained not just to fight, but to vanish. They carried no flags, wore no uniforms, and spoke every language. Their loyalty belonged not to their country, but to the mission. Espionage had become an invisible empire. From Washington to Moscow, from Tel Aviv to Beijing, the shadow network expanded. Behind every government meeting, every trade deal, every scientific discovery, someone was watching. This was the true birth of modern espionage, a world of codes and betrayals, of lies and loyalties, where one secret could change the balance of power. And the question was no longer who had the biggest army, but who had the best spy. The Second World War had ended, but peace was an illusion. Two new giants emerged from the ruins, the United States and the Soviet Union. The battlefield was no longer made of trenches and tanks. It was made of secrets. This was the Cold War, a war without smoke, without sound, but with fear in every heartbeat. Both sides had nuclear weapons powerful enough to erase cities in seconds. But the real war was not fought with missiles. It was fought with information. From Washington to Moscow, from Berlin to Havana, spies became the new soldiers. Every diplomat, every scientist, every journalist could be an agent in disguise. Every phone call, every coded message, every photograph could change history. Before we go further, tell us, where are you watching from? Comment below and don't forget to like and subscribe to Spyward Story. The CIA was born in 1947, sleek, professional, and ruthless in its mission. Across the Iron Curtain, the KGB rose as its mirror image, powerful, silent, and everywhere. These two agencies became the heartbeats of a global chess match. Every move, every lie, every defection was a play on that board. Agents lived double lives, one for their country, one for survival. In the daylight, they smiled and shook hands. At night, they sent coded transmissions, marked maps, and met in secret alleys. Berlin became the world's capital of spies. Its divided streets, east and west, turned into invisible front lines. A single wrong glance could mean exposure. A single whispered name could mean death. And yet, in those shadows, the bravest missions unfolded. American and British spies built tunnels under the city to tap Soviet cables. KGB agents infiltrated embassies and turned Western officers into double agents. Every secret had a price. Every truth had blood on it. It was during this time that the most famous double agent in history emerged. Men like Kim Philby, who drank tea with the British elite while secretly serving Moscow. He wasn't just a spy. He was a betrayal wrapped in charm. His defection shocked the West and proved one haunting truth. In the Cold War, trust was more dangerous than treason. While governments threatened war, spies prevented it in silence. They exchanged captured agents on bridges at midnight. They traded secrets that stopped missiles from launching. They sabotaged invasions, toppled dictators, and controlled revolutions, all without ever being seen. The world slept peacefully, never knowing how close it came to destruction. And behind that fragile peace stood invisible heroes, people who lied for truth, who risked their lives so that others could live it. As satellites rose into orbit, the battlefield expanded into the sky. Espionage had entered a new dimension, surveillance from space. Now even the clouds were watching. The Cold War wasn't just about politics or ideology. It was about dominance, the control of fear itself. And in this silent war, every whisper, every shadow, every photograph mattered. The spy had become the most dangerous weapon on Earth. In every corner of the world, beneath cities glowing with neon lights and beneath offices of power, there exists a secret web, unseen, untouchable, and unstoppable. It connects men and women who live two lives, bound together by silence, secrets, and lies. These are the shadow networks, the silent arteries through which nations breathe information. And at the heart of these networks lies the oldest weapon known to man, deception. In espionage, truth is not a fact. It's a tool. Every identity, every conversation, every mission begins with a lie, polished to shine brighter than truth itself. A spy doesn't just hide reality, he creates a new one. The CIA, KGB, MI6, and Mossad all mastered this dual existence. Each built invisible chains of communication, safe houses, coded radio transmissions, and double agents planted deep inside enemy lines. These networks were fragile webs of trust, spun entirely out of lies. Tell us, where are you watching from? Comment below and don't forget to like and subscribe to Spyward Story. During the Cold War, deception became an art form. Entire fake cities were built to mislead satellites. Fake agents were leaked to the enemy just to feed them false information. And somewhere, far from any battlefield, a quiet man with a typewriter decided the fate of nations. Every spy lived two lives, one public, one buried under layers of fiction. Their faces changed, their names rewritten. Even their memories were rehearsed stories. Because in espionage, the first truth you sacrifice is your own identity. Inside the shadow networks, no one fully trusted anyone. A handler never revealed his true name. A courier never knew what message he carried, and yet the system functioned powered by doubt, fueled by fear. A double-agent smile could start a war. A forged letter could destroy alliances, and a single whisper could rewrite history. The great deception wasn't always in the disguise. Sometimes it was in sincerity. The best spies were not liars. They were believers. They believed in their cover story so deeply that even they couldn't tell where the mask ended and the truth began. In one famous case, an operative lived 10 years as a foreign diplomat. He had friends, photographs, even a family, all fabricated. When his mission ended, he disappeared without a trace, and the people who mourned him never knew he'd never existed. This is the essence of the art of deception, not just to fool the enemy, but to make the illusion real enough to breathe. Today, the same web exists, only its threads are digital. The spies are hackers, the codes are algorithms, and the shadows have moved to the internet's deepest corners. Still, the rules never changed. Trust no one, show nothing, believe everything until the mission ends. Because in this invisible world, truth is the first casualty, and deception the ultimate weapon. War has always evolved from swords to guns, from tanks to missiles. But in the invisible world of espionage, weapons are not made of metal, they are made of information. Every spy carries an arsenal, hidden cameras, encrypted devices, forged identities, and secrets that can destroy empires. This is the invisible war, a conflict fought in hotel rooms, embassies, airports, and now in cyberspace. At the dawn of modern espionage, the tools were simple. A notebook, a codebook, and nerves of steel. Agents carried messages inside hollow coins or microdots so small that entire blueprints could fit beneath a postage stamp. But as the world advanced, so did the weapons of secrecy. During World War II, the British Special Operations Executive designed pens that fired bullets, watches that concealed miniature cameras, and maps printed on silk, soft enough to be hidden in a shoe sole. The Cold War turned invention into obsession. The CIA and KGB raced not just for space, but for surveillance. They built listening devices so small they could hide inside a button. Cameras the size of a matchstick captured faces across a crowded street. Every sound, every signal, every heartbeat became a clue. Tell us where you re-watching from, and don't forget to like and subscribe to Spyward Story for more unseen truths. But as technology grew, so did the battlefield. Wires turned to signals, locks turned to firewalls, and the enemy was no longer a man in a trench coat. It was a line of code. Today's spies carry laptops instead of pistols, and viruses instead of bullets. They infiltrate governments, companies, and even social networks, leaving no fingerprints, only digital shadows. Cyber espionage is now the new front line. A single breach can paralyze a nation. A single leak can collapse a government. From stolen data to hacked satellites, the invisible war has moved beyond borders. Yet, even in this era of AI and quantum computing, one tool remains unchanged: the human mind. A skilled agent can still outthink a machine, because in the end, the greatest weapon is not the gadget in your hand, it's the secret you choose to reveal or to bury. The invisible war never ends. It only changes its shape. And the spies who fight it, they remain the ghosts behind the code. In every war fought in the open, there's another war fought in silence. And in that silence live the unseen heroes, men and women who sacrifice everything, yet remain invisible to history. They don't wear medals. They don't stand in parades. Their names are erased, their stories classified, their graves unmarked. But behind every victory, there's one of them standing in the shadows. Some were soldiers who chose silence over fame. Some were scientists who gave their lives for inventions that never bore their names. And some, the rarest of all, were spies who loved their countries so deeply that they vanished for them. Tell us, where are you watching from? Comment below and don't forget to like and subscribe to Spyward Story, where truth hides behind every story. During the Cold War, these unseen heroes shaped the balance of power. They crossed borders under false names, risking capture, torture, or worse, betrayal by their own side. They learned to live without identity, to breathe without recognition, to die without applause. One such man worked for years behind enemy lines in Eastern Europe. His reports saved thousands of soldiers. Yet, when he vanished, even his family was told he never existed. His reward, a code name on a file, and silence. In another case, a woman, a linguist in a small intelligence cell, decoded a message that prevented an entire nuclear disaster. The world never knew her name, but her work changed the future of millions. These are not the heroes who seek fame. They are the guardians who protect nations without ever being seen. Their victories are not celebrated. They are buried deep inside sealed archives, known only to those who understand the cost of silence. Modern espionage still depends on such heroes. Agents who risk their digital identities in cyber wars, analysts who spend sleepless nights connecting dots no one else can see, and field operatives who vanish without a trace, not because they failed, but because they succeeded too well. In the intelligence world, recognition can be a death sentence. To live unseen is to stay alive. To die unknown is to truly serve. So when history writes of wars won and empires built, remember, behind every general, every leader, every decision stands an invisible figure watching from the dark. They are the ones who never asked for gratitude, never claimed the light, but without whom nations would fall apart. These are the unseen heroes, the ghosts who built the world we live in, and disappeared before we could ever thank them. In the hidden world of espionage, not every mission ends in triumph. Sometimes silence replaces success, and shadows turn against their own. History remembers the grand victories, but it quietly hides the moments when everything went wrong. A wrong code, a delayed message, a single misplaced trust, and an entire operation can vanish into darkness. These are the silent disasters of the spy world, missions that were never meant to be spoken of, and names that quietly disappeared from the records. In this realm, loyalty is the most fragile currency. One moment of doubt can blur the line between duty and betrayal. Some agents vanished without a trace. Others returned home only as rumors. It's a world where no one truly knows who stands on which side. Because even the most loyal hearts can be deceived by fear, greed, or love. Where are you watching from? Share in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe to Spyward Story, your window into the unseen battles of history. But every failure has its lesson. Every misstep reshaped the strategies of intelligence agencies, teaching them that even a small mistake in the shadows can echo across the world. The greatest spies are not those who never failed, but those who learned to rise again unseen. Upbeat, mysterious intro music fades slightly into the background. Hello, and welcome to Spyward Story. For centuries, the world of espionage has been a realm of shadows, a clandestine theater where secrets decided the fate of empires. The classic image of a spy is etched in our minds, a figure in a trench coat, meeting informants in foggy alleyways, using micro-cameras and deciphering coded messages. Think of the Cold War, a time of dead drops, double agents, and high-stakes gambles played out in the divided streets of Berlin. These spies relied on their wits, their training, and their ability to blend in, physically disappearing into the crowd. Their weapons were ingenuity and deception. Their battlefields were foreign cities, and their victories were secrets successfully stolen or kept. But that world, the world of Mata Hari and James Bond, is fading into history. A new era of espionage has dawned, one not fought in the streets, but in the invisible streams of data that connect our globe. The age of the digital spy is here, and the rules of the game have changed forever. Slight shift in music, more electronic and modern today. The most valuable secrets aren't written on paper or hidden in a safe. They're stored on servers, transmitted through satellites, and encrypted in complex algorithms. The modern spy isn't necessarily a master of disguise, they're a master of code. The battlefield has shifted from physical territory to cyberspace, a borderless domain where a single line of code can be more devastating than a bomb. Espionage has gone digital, and the spies of the 21st century are hackers, data scientists, and intelligence analysts who can navigate the labyrinth of the internet. They don't need a fake passport to cross a border. They need a way to bypass a firewall. Their targets are no longer just military plans or political documents. They're targeting everything: financial systems, power grids, communication networks, and even the personal data of billions of people. Information is the new currency of power, and those who can control its flow control the world. The spies of tomorrow are already here, operating in a realm we all inhabit but few truly understand. Music becomes more intense, with subtle digital sound effects. So, what does this new digital arsenal look like? Forget the shoe phone or the exploding pen. Today's spy kit is far more sophisticated and far less conspicuous. It starts with satellites orbiting high above us, capable of capturing high-resolution images, intercepting communications, and tracking movements with pinpoint accuracy. These eyes in the sky give intelligence agencies an unprecedented view of the world. Then there's the software. Malware, Trojans, and phishing scams aren't just tools for common criminals. They are weapons in the hands of state-sponsored hackers. A carefully crafted email can be the key that unlocks a nation's most sensitive secrets. Social media has also become a battleground. Intelligence agencies use it for open-source intelligence, or ASINT, gathering vast amounts of information freely shared by the public. They can analyze social trends, monitor public sentiment, and even identify potential informants or threats. And perhaps the most powerful tool of all is data itself. Big data analytics allows agencies to sift through trillions of bytes of information, connecting dots and finding patterns that would be invisible to the human eye. Your digital footprint, every search, every purchase, every online interaction can be collected and analyzed. In this new era, your data tells a story, and spies are learning how to read it. Music shifts to a more cerebral, thoughtful tone. At the heart of this technological revolution is artificial intelligence. AI is the ultimate analyst, a tireless digital brain that can process information at unimaginable speeds. It's changing the very nature of intelligence work. Consider this. In the past, an analyst might spend weeks, even months, listening to recorded conversations to find a single piece of critical intelligence. Today, an AI can transcribe, translate, and analyze thousands of hours of audio in minutes, flagging keywords, identifying speakers by their voice prints, and even detecting emotional states like stress or deception. AI is also being used for predictive analysis. By feeding an AI massive datasets on historical events, social media activity, and economic indicators. Agencies can attempt to forecast political instability, social unrest, or even potential terrorist attacks. Facial recognition technology, powered by AI, can track a person of interest through a crowded city, identifying them in seconds from a sea of faces. But this power comes with a profound question. What happens when we delegate a part of our intelligence to a machine? Can an algorithm truly grasp the nuances of human behavior, culture, and intent? AI is a powerful tool, but it's a tool built on logic and data. It doesn't understand intuition, morality, or the unpredictable nature of the human spirit. A more human, slightly melancholic theme begins to play. This brings us to the enduring role of the human spy. In a world of algorithms and data streams, you might think the human agent is becoming obsolete. But that's far from the truth. In fact, their role is more critical than ever. A machine can analyze what is said, but it can't understand what is not said. It can't read the subtle cues of body language in a high-stakes meeting or feel the shift in atmosphere in a room. It can't build trust, cultivate a source, or persuade a person to betray their country. This is the domain of human intelligence, or hument. The human spy provides the context, the why, behind the data. They can understand motivations like loyalty, greed, revenge, or ideology, the very things that drive people to share secrets. A machine can predict actions based on patterns, but a human can understand the irrational, the emotional, and the unexpected. They possess something no algorithm can replicate: instinct. That gut feeling that something is wrong, that a source is about to turn, or that a situation is about to spiral out of control. So, while technology provides the what, the human spy provides the crucial so what. The future of espionage isn't about machine versus human. It's about the synergy between them, the perfect fusion of AI-driven data and human intuition. Music becomes more grand and slightly ominous. The battlefield of the future won't be marked by trenches or borders. It will be an invisible war, fought with bits and bytes, deception and disinformation. Every click you make, every message you send, every piece of information you share online could be a move in a much larger global game of chess. Nations are already engaged in this silent conflict. They're building digital defenses, creating cyber armies, and launching sophisticated operations to steal data, disrupt infrastructure, and influence foreign populations. This is the era of hybrid warfare, where a cyber attack can be just as impactful as a military strike. Imagine a scenario where a foreign power subtly manipulates the stock market, causing economic chaos. Or picture a coordinated disinformation campaign that erodes public trust in democratic institutions. These aren't scenes from a sci-fi movie. They are the real and present dangers of 21st century espionage. The front lines are no longer in some distant land. They are in our networks, our devices, and our minds. Powerful intelligence agencies around the world are pouring billions into this new domain, creating virtual operatives and digital shields to protect their secrets in the vast, unseen landscape of cyberspace. Music softens, becoming more inviting. We've journeyed from the cloak and dagger past to the digital present, but this is just the beginning. The world of secrets is constantly evolving, and the next generation of spies will operate in ways we can barely imagine. They won't wear disguises of cloth and paint, but of data and code. They will blend seamlessly into the digital noise, fighting wars that most of us will never even know are happening. The shadows are changing. They are growing deeper and more complex, and it raises a critical question for all of us. Are we ready for what comes next? Where do you think the world of espionage is headed? Tell us in the comments below. We'd love to know where you're watching from, so drop your city or country as well. Outro music begins an intriguing and memorable theme. If you found this journey into the hidden world of intelligence as thrilling as we did, please show your support by hitting that like button, sharing this video, and subscribing to Spyward Story. Your support is what allows us to uncover more of these unseen stories, and you won't want to miss what's coming next. In our next video, we'll be counting down the top 10 most powerful intelligence agencies and their secret operations. We'll pull back the curtain on the real power brokers of the shadow world. Until then, stay alert, stay curious, and always watch the shadows.